a new Adventist Medical School in Rwanda, a school for the deaf in Kenya, and mission in Slovenia. All this and much more from the front lines of mission around the world coming up next. Hello and welcome to Mission 360. I'm Gary Krause. Today's program is coming to you from Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia here in the former Yugoslavia. And I'm actually walking on the triple bridge. I'm on the central bridge, there's one over here, there's one over here, and these pedestrian bridges separate the old medieval town behind me and the new town in front of me. Well, today we're going to be looking at mission right here in Slovenia, but we're going to travel to other parts of the world. And first up, let's travel to Kenya.
In 2016, the Seventh-day Adventist Church accepted an invitation from the president of Rwanda to start a medical school. By 2019, the Adventist School of Medicine of East Central Africa, or ASOME, opened its doors with a clear mission view.
And with the motto of I will go preach, I will go teach, I will go heal, they go through their various courses with the lecturers that are very much enthusiastic and involved in making sure that they have appropriate training for them to become those leaders that we expect from them for the future.
Students from all over Africa are learning and experiencing Adventist education here. The school offers a 6-year program, plus a 1-year internship. Students also receive certifications, such as health leadership.
If you take a look around or you take a tour around the school, you'll find that the school is equipped with high techs, and all these things are for a better doctors like us. The way they're teaching us is not only like to know things academically, but we are also being trained to be the best leaders in the future and also now. Any lecturer that comes in class, the first thing they do is prayer and they read a verse from the Bible. I have already seen a great future in me and a doctor that will become in future, because its mission is to train highly qualified medical doctors, and these medical doctors will be providing holistic, Christ-like services to the communities.
Currently, ASOME is located inside the campus of the Adventist University of Central Africa, where there are only 4 faculty houses. The faculty includes both local and international professors. The school is growing, and more faculty will come over the next few years. There is a need for adequate housing, a place where they can live on campus while being part of student life.
No, unfortunately, we are living outside because we don't have a house right now to live inside. Living 100% here will be very and totally different because we can share all time with the students.
Building faculty housing on campus is a top priority, as there is a direct connection between the faculty's proximity to the students and the students' social, spiritual, and intellectual growth.
The benefit of having professors within the campus is unique. You have more access to your students. Your students have more access to you. You model to the students. The students get to see what's being modeled, not only as a health professional, but in your own lifestyle. So having a Sabbath worship, having a Friday worship, having a weekend worship, be it in the morning or in the evening with a student, having lunch or dinner with them, and where they can come and see what's happening. It's a completely different scenario when you have faculty living within the campus to having them outside.
The 13th Sabbath offering this quarter will help schools in the East Central Africa region, including ASOME. Please pray for the students and faculty at this school. Pray that they can become influential health leaders in their communities through quality education.
Thank you for supporting the 13th Sabbath mission offerings for Asome. God bless you.
My guest today is Pastor Zmarko Godina, who is the president of the Slovenian Conference. Thank you so much for joining us today. And can you tell viewers where we are located at the moment?
We are at the moment in Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia, and we are in the church hall here, which is also used as a premises for the conference offices. And we are right in the center of Ljubljana.
Wonderful. Now, for some viewers who are not familiar with Slovenia, can you just give a brief overview of the country? It's a relatively new country.
Yes, Slovenia was founded in 1991 after the breakup of Yugoslavia. We are a very little country. Just over 2 million people live in the whole country. So we have also a fairly little church in that respect. But the country is very diverse, so in a very small space you can find Alps, you can find coast and seaside, you can find plains. So wherever you want to go, it's very nice and very accessible to go in a short time.
Wonderful, a beautiful country. Now, what about the religious landscape of the country?
Predominantly, Slovenia is a Catholic country, but also we have a lot of immigrants who came in the country in the 60s and 70s of the 20th century. So this brought also different religions, especially the Muslims who came from Bosnia, and also a number of Orthodox believers who mainly came from Serbia. There is also a Protestant community in the eastern part of the country, which are the heirs of the Protestant Revolution in the 16th century. So basically, in a certain part of the country, there is a stronger Protestant presence. But of course, majority of the people today would define themselves as secular people.
Interesting. So officially, the largest denomination is the Roman Catholic Church,
Yes,
then followed by Islam.
Yes.
Yeah. So describe the Adventist Church.
Adventist Church is part of the Adriatic Union of Conferences, so we are a small conference with just 15 local churches with about 560 church members. And we are a very diverse church also, so we have a lot of course, older people, but also younger people. And what we are trying to do is actually to integrate and to serve all together to the communities where we live and where we operate.
Wonderful. So 560 Adventists in 2 million people. I would respectfully say this is a mission field.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. It has a feeling of the mission field, and we want to see ourselves certainly as missionaries in this country, because this gives us a new energy to work and to participate in God's mission in the world.
Wonderful. Now, how many pastors do you have in the country?
Currently, we have 3 pastors. So myself and 2 other pastors, which is a fairly small number. But we would need, at least 1 additional pastor. This would give us a kind of opportunity to work more steadily in various churches.
Okay, so you're the president. How many churches do you pastor?
I pastor 4 churches.
4 churches
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
So when you look at the mission challenge and you look at the growing secularism, what approaches are you taking strategically to try to reach these people?
Of course, first we are following Jesus' approach. So we want to be where people are. We want to show them that we really care for them, that God cares for them. We want to serve their needs, and then we want to invite them to follow Jesus. And we are trying to achieve this in different ways, through different programs and different activities, from health activities, care for children and youth, and some seminars that improve the well-being or the life quality of the people here in Slovenia. So we take various approaches.
So when you look at the Christ method and reaching the needs of the people, what are the major needs of the people?
A lot of people today, I would say, are feeling very lonely, disconnected from other people, lacking some purpose and sense of mission in their life. Sometimes they feel like they are just led to themselves to struggle with everything that comes their way. So we want to show them that there is somebody who can really help them and who cares for them, who loves them deeply, and we want to show them in a very practical way. Of course, we are also serving people in the area of health issues. A lot of people would like to improve their health, would like to live a better life, and we are trying to find ways to approach them and to show them what they can do by themselves in order to achieve greater quality of life.
Yes. I'm sure you wake up in the morning sometimes feeling like David against the Goliath of the Mission Challenge. Share with us something that you're excited about, some initiative or some program or something that the church is doing that makes you happy.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the involvement of young people in the mission. This really gives also me additional energy, and they are very creative in their approaches, and in the last year and so we have seen a great improvement in terms of what we have done before in the area of media ministry. Also, young people are very enthusiastic to find creative ways to serve people wherever they feel needs and see needs. And they are not maybe for traditional ways of mission, but like services and missions like healthcare, working practically to improve the lives of the people. This is something that is really for them, and they want to be part of this. They want to see that people are growing as human beings also. And whatever comes in this area makes me also enthusiastic.
Wonderful. Terrific to hear. Thank you so much, Pastor, for sharing with us today.
Welcome.
And viewers at home, what a tremendous mission challenge here in Slovenia, in Central Europe. But exciting to see that the young people are involved, because that means that the future is looking bright. And to hear that they're using Christ's method of ministry, anyone who's seen this program before knows that I hardly open my mouth without referring to Christ's method of ministry, because this is the method that will bring true success as we mingle, show sympathy, minister to needs, win confidence, and bid people to follow Jesus. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Ljubljana, and I'm walking in Congress Square, and it's just one of several historic squares in the downtown city, and it's just one of the things that makes this place special.
Hello viewers at home, thank you for joining us again. Today I have a special guest, one of my good friends, Addis. We've known each other for a while. He's been involved in much ministry here in Kansas City and Missouri, different spots. And so we have a very interesting story that can motivate us, and especially younger people, towards mission. So Addis, how about you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you have done, and then we'll talk more about your story.
Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Addis. I've been in Kansas City for 7 years. This September is going to be 8. When I came from Nepal, this is the first place that I came, so it feels like home, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm also a student. And I'm Bible working for Iowa Missouri Conference. I've been since beginning of this year. I'm involved in NC4Y. It's a lot of things, but NC4Y ministry. I've been mag booking for the past 4 years. I've just been involved with different things like Pathfinders, you know.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So for those who may not know at home, NC4Y, it's a Pathfinder club here in Kansas City, New Change for Youth. And they've been involved, you guys have been involved in with lots of refugees from Nepal, other areas, and not all of them Christian, correct?
Yeah, Nepal, Uganda, Kenya, literally we have, and in NC4Y, we are representing literally the whole world, you know?
That's wonderful.
And lots of kids, literally last week, 85 kids came, and majority of them are not even Christian, and none of them are like Seventh-day Adventists, you know. So it's really fun to see their growth in the spiritual life and in general, and see how excited they get when like one thing in the Bible connects to another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I want to talk a little bit about your personal journey through. We don't have a ton of time to go into details, which I wish we could. That's the difficult part about talking about people's stories. But tell me a little bit about, so you had a huge scholarship to go to college here in Kansas City, but then something happened to where you decided to forego that scholarship because of certain reasons. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, actually, my sophomore year of high school, I went to Sunnydale for a semester.
And Sunnydale is an Adventist high school here in Missouri.
Yeah, and for the first time in my life, I got to see what school where Christian youths are involved in looks like, you know. Unfortunately, I was only there for a semester. I had to come back home. I moved on with my life. My junior year, I got this big scholarship. It was $50,000 scholarship, and it was very big in my Nepali community and also the organization that brought us here to America. It was so big, it was no longer my scholarship, you know, it was more like their scholarship.
So all of your family, the Nepalese community, everyone knew and was very proud of you?
Yep, everybody knew. It was...
You were a celebrity in the community.
Practically. But here this is where it gets interesting, because my dad passed away a little bit earlier before I got the scholarship, and my spiritual life with God was it was literally non-existent. I wanted to be involved with NC4 ministry or any ministry, but I didn't really wanted to. I wanted to talk about God, but I wanted to know about God, but I didn't want to have a relationship with God, you know. And eventually, like throughout this all things that I'm feeling, and I'm being involved in different things, God hadn't abandoned me quite yet. He was constantly influencing me to make a decision where I'm going to be serving Him. It opened up with Edison coming here to give a powerful seminar, Revelation seminar, to me deciding to go MAGA book for the summer. And when I came back, I knew that if I was to stay where I am with the friends that I'm hanging out with in the school that I was going to, personally, my future was not going to be where I'm being a representative of Christ alone, where I'm making my family proud. And my little time at Sunnydale, I knew that's when I felt most close with God. So I made the decision to go back to Sunnydale, which meant that I would have to give up the scholarship, right?
Oof.
But the thing is, this was such a conviction from God. It was so clear that this is the direction that He wanted me to go to. So I went to Sunnydale, rejected the scholarship, and everything.
So how did your family and the community feel about you giving up that scholarship just to go to a Christian school?
One of NC4 kids, she had just moved to Kansas City, and she was saying like, "Oh yeah, you are that guy. You were so famous about this scholarship," and I didn't even know until very recently. There were people, Nepali community people, who were moving from different states, who had heard that I had abandoned the scholarship, my future, everything. It doesn't make sense when you make decisions for God, even to yourself, let alone the community or your family. But the cool thing is that in 3 years after, randomly, not even random, it's literally God. Miraculously, God made a way where I could not only have $50,000 scholarship, but a whole full ride scholarship that can cover every single expenses of my school.
So you're saying that now, after you went back to the Adventist Academy to Sunnydale, and you were exploring college again after working as a Bible worker and canvassing literature evangelism, after all of that, you got another scholarship that actually took care of your college for you?
Yeah, and this literally covers all my college tuition. And before I got the scholarship, I had my biggest prayer answered. The reason why I wanted to go to Sunnydale, which was to know more about God, right? Be more involved in ministry. I wanted to know, share, and defend my relationship with God. And when I went to SALT, I was able to learn all that and use it every day now as a Bible worker.
Wow.
So literally, the whole reason why I wanted to go to Sunnydale has been answering. Every day I wake up and I work as a Bible worker, and that's the answer to prayer for why I chose to go to Sunnydale. And now, like, not only that one prayer has been answered, but also, like, on top of that, I have now this big scholarship that I can go back to school while continuously living the prayer that I've been prayed for.
Wow. So God really rewarded you for your faithfulness and ability to make a decision that seemed ridiculous at the time.
Yep.
And then God still took care of you in the end.
Much more than I can comprehend. I feel like so many days I wake up and I take it for granted, like we all do, you know? There's just literally so many blessings that's surrounding us and we just don't see it. But the fact of the matter is the job that we have, the family that we have, and the fact that we know God and we get to open His Word, that alone is big answers to prayer.
Yeah.
And we just, you know.
That's amazing. Well, I know there's plenty more to your story and miracles that have happened that we don't have time to share here. But Adis, thank you so much for sharing a little bit, and I hope that motivates other people, young people, old people, like anybody who is going through a decision process of maybe having to give up something for ministry or something that doesn't make necessarily sense. But we are promised in the Bible and through stories like this that God is going to take care of us if we make decisions for Him. So Adis, thank you very much. Viewers at home, enjoy your next mission story.
Welcome back to Ljubljana, and behind me you can see the Ljubljana Castle, which overlooks the city, and the first building on this site dates back to the 10th century. Well, next up we travel to Kenya and a school for the deaf.
Known as one of the world's best safari destinations, Kenya offers a scenic landscape with 50 epic national parks and reserves that are home to diverse wildlife. With a population of 54 million, more than 60 languages are spoken in Kenya. Kisii is about 300 kilometers west of the capital of Nairobi and is home to the country's first Adventist school, the Mawara Adventist School for the Deaf. This school was started by a man who became an Adventist in 2012. It was difficult for him to run the school on his own, so he gave it to the local Adventist leadership. The leaders accepted the school with a vision for the future.
We want to have a modern school for the deaf, which will be a model school for the entire division, because we want to make a facility which is modern, which is good, which anyone will want to bring their child.
With this vision, church leaders took serious action to offer quality Christian education to the deaf population.
Then the conference gathered some money, resources, and they started to put up structures, classrooms for them. They put up the first 2 classrooms, then later they added 2 more, they became 6, with an office and a staff room. The 2 classrooms were turned into a dormitory where the learners started to live from. So they are staying in 2 classrooms, one for the female and the other one for the male.
Currently, the school has 64 students. Some are rejected by their family and hidden in their homes. Some people believe deaf children are cursed and bring shame to their families.
We source them from the house, we bring them to the school, we pay for their meals, we give them a uniform, and they stay with our other learners in the school.
These students often come from poor backgrounds. Some of them are HIV/AIDS positive. The school is the safest place for them. It's a place where they can develop a relationship with God.
The institution is run by the Adventist Church. They have a Sabbath school, they have a divine service, they have an afternoon program. They have midweek prayers, they have Friday Vespers. So it is organized in such a way that the learners are nurtured spiritually by the teachers.
We thank you because we are being taught very well. Our teachers teach us very good. They help us to know about Jesus and to learn about the Bible.
Every school has its challenges. For this school, the challenge is to complete the construction of a new dormitory that was halted due to funding.
In school here, presently we have no dorm, but dorm in school under construction. Presently, the dorm is soon about to be finished. They currently use one of the classrooms has one for girl child, another for the boy child, to accommodate them for the sleep for the night. But the room is too small. So we have tried to make much effort to make our dormitory complete so that we can move the beds to our large space dormitory.
It can be difficult to operate a school, but even in the midst of difficulty, there is always a reason to praise the Lord.
The Lord has been with us. If not the Lord, we are not able to pay teachers. We are not able to provide for the learners. We are not able to provide for our schools to continue building the same way. So the Lord has just really shown. The Lord has shown His able hands.
Part of your 13 Sabbath offerings this quarter will help finish their dormitory and build a multi-purpose hall so students can have a safe place to study.
Thank you for supporting mission offering for this school.
Well, that's about it for today's program, and I hope that you've been inspired and challenged by our Mission 360 view of the world. We see so many challenges around the world, but we can probably group them into three major challenges. Number one, the 1040 window. That stretches from Northwest Africa through the Middle East and into Asia, where 60% of the world's population lives and the fewest Christians. And then we have the growing urban areas of the world. The cities are our new mission field. And third, the growing population of secular and post-Christian people, which we see particularly in places such as Slovenia, right here in Europe. But we see that this is something that's growing all around the world. And so I want to thank you for your continuing support for Global Mission, through your prayers, which make a difference to our church planters on the front line, for your financial support, your donations to Global Mission, and your personal involvement. Well, for Mission 360, I'm Gary Krause, and I hope that you can join me next time right here on this program.